Hi everybody and welcome to Push Your Luck Podcast video review. Today we'll be looking at another Essen 2013 release called Kohlbaron, or the German name is called Glück auf. Right, this board game is designed by Michael Kiesling and Wolfgang Kramer. Now they both have been partners in design for quite a few times, and you can see some of their older games like Asara, even Palaces of Carrara. This is one of their few 2013 releases, and basically this is a game where players will plays 2 to 4, plays about an hour or so, and players will be shipping coal, right? Going down their individual mine shafts, getting coal, bringing up to the surface, fulfilling contracts, sending the contracts on their way, and scoring points. The game is quite fast. It lasts about 3 rounds, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most points while still having the safest mine will win the game. So let's take a look at the components and what I think about the game. Okay, this is the limited edition copy that a friend of mine lent it to me. He went to Essen and he got himself this limited edition copy. The main differences that you will get if you compare the limited edition one to the standard one is that the limited edition comes with this very nice wooden box. Unfortunately, that is all the limited edition will get you. Inside is pretty much the same as the normal standard edition box. There's no partition that will help you to keep the components separately, so you will have to make do with your own plain old boxes and sorting out and stuff like that. So for what it's worth, I do not think that the limited edition copy is worth the extra money that you'll be paying for. I personally will be waiting for a standard copy. You will see that this is the game board, where most of the actions will take place in the game. Each player will also be given their own personal mine and lift. Alright, this is where the players will be managing the coal and the resources and trying to ship the coal up to the top of the shaft and then transport them to the different contracts that you see. So the cards in the game are all the contracts that you can get, fulfill, and then send off, which will then score you points. Now let's look at the different components in detail. In this section, you will see that this is the area where you can get the carts, or they call it trucks in the game. Now there are 4 different types of coal. You can see that there's yellow, there's brown, there's grey, and there's black. The rulebook doesn't explain why are there different colors of coal, so I guess yellow is sulfur and so on and so forth. Alright, you can make up the story yourself. The cards will have a certain number, and they will also have a certain color. So when you want to take the card from the board, all you need to do is take your work. So these are essentially it's like your worker placement game. So these are essentially your workers. You'll be placing them on these particular areas to be able to get a card. Now when you get a card, you will need to pay the money. The money equals to the amount number written here. So for example, if I want to get this brown card, I'll pay $2. Take note that there's another thing you need to be aware is that cards come in 2 different types. Either they are lighted, you can see the lights here, or they are dark, no lights here at all. And cards will come in either 1 card or 2, like so. So what is the difference between the lighted and the non-lighted? When you place it in your mine shaft, alright, the lighted side will be on the left hand side. Okay, the darker side will be on the right hand side. So if I buy this one, I'll pay $2. I'll get 1 brown cube from supply. I'll put it here next to the lighted one and also in the brown. So when we start off the player board, we'll have yellow, brown, grey, and black. So I'll be placing it here. And I'll get 1 brown cube and put it there. If I buy the yellow one, I'll pay $2 because they are 1 each. Alright, and then I will place it in the dark side because there's no lights. I'll place it in the dark side and get 2 yellow cubes here. Okay, so that is what this particular section does. There's 8 of them, and if there are fewer players, some of them will be locked up, and there will be less for players to choose from. There's a special slot here where if you place your token there, you can choose 5, the top 5, and then you can choose 1. You can return up to 5. Minimum 4 back on top of the stack of existing cards that are still in the supply, or back in the bottom. That is your choice. Okay, so this is the area. One last thing about this area where you are getting cards. At the end of each round, the player with the most tokens left on this area will be the next start player. So this is the cards are important because that's the only way you'll be getting cubes, which are your supply for the entire game. Next, this area on top here is just to get money. So there's $3, $4, $5, and $6. If you have no other place else to go, you can always put your token here to get $1. Now, why is there a possibility that there's no other places you can go? Because you run out of these tokens. So different player count will get different number of players. For example, if you have 4 players, you get 13 of these tokens. If you have 3 players, you get 15 of these tokens. When you want to go to a particular area, if there's nobody there, you just only need to put 1 of your token there, and you get to do the action immediately. However, if there's someone else there, including yourself, you need to put 1 more than what is currently there on the board. So, for example, I'll need to put 2 here, and this one is getting kicked out will go to the canteen here. And so you can see that as each round progresses, it will get progressively more and more expensive. So back to this area, this is to get money. Okay, this area is to get. These are the contracts, which is also the another part, a very important part of the game. The number here on top will be the number of points which you score if you complete the contract and submit the contract. The cubes here indicate what color cubes this contract requires. So for this case, you need 2 browns. The bottom part will indicate the type of contract this fulfills. So in the game, there's 4 different types. There's the truck, the horse-drawn carriage. There's also a hand cart, as well as a train. Okay, so this is where you will get contracts. Right, so similar to the rest of the spaces, if there's nobody there, you can put 1 and you get 1. If there's someone else, when 1 space is vacated, you will merely draw another card to replenish. It also has the same draw 5 and choose 1, similar to the cards here. So when you draw 5, choose 1, you can also put on top or below when you return the rest that you do not need. Okay, the area here will be the number of action spaces. So this is separated in 4, 6, 8, and 10. Now, this will mean that you get either 4 actions, 6 actions, 8 actions, or 10 actions, and you must execute everything that you place on the board. You immediately execute. So, for example, if you are moving 8, for example, right? If I've got 8, so all your lists will start on top. So if you're moving 8, you'll be moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can, for example, I can put it here 8 like that. You can also empty the cubes into the shed here. This will also take 1 action. However, in subsequent rounds, if you want to put the cubes onto the contract, that will also take another action. The other thing is you can take any 2 cubes of any color, different colors or the same color. You can put them to represent 1 cube of another color. So, for example, if I do not have any yellow right now, I want to fulfill this I want to complete this contract. I can take this 2. This will count as 2 actions and put it here to represent a yellow, like that. So now this contract is completed. However, this does not mean that this contract has been shipped and I do not get 3 points. I will still need to come to the last area of the board, which is this area. Now, I need to put my this where this symbol, this particular mode of transport is. So in this case, it's a truck. So you see there's a hand-drawn cart, horse-drawn carriage, truck, and a train. So I'll need to put my token onto the truck, and then I'll ship this away. When you put your token onto any of these, you can ship all completed contracts of that particular transport type away. You score points, you return back the cubes, and you take the contracts and put them face down next to you. Okay, and so how do the scoring work then? All right, at the end of the round will be signaled when all players have passed. So that will signal the end of 1 round. In the first round, this will be the scoring sector. In the next round, the scoring sector will include the previous ones as well as 4 more new ones. And the last round, it will be the entire down here that will score. So what is being scored? you'll use this little marker to help you to remember what has been scored. So the first 4 is what has been shipped so far in terms of the color of the coal that you have shipped. So you will open all the contracts that you have completed, count the number of yellow that you have shipped, and whoever has the majority will get 2 points, the next will get 1 point. This friendly ties, meaning that if you tie for first, both of you will get 2 points, but no one will get the second one. If you tie for second, all who have tied for second will still get the points. Next, you look at the brown, then you look at the grey, and look at the black. So that will be a first 1 round of scoring. That will be end of 1 round. Players will take back all their tokens, and the new start player will start the game again. At the end of second round, you'll be scoring who has delivered the most number of cargo for the different modes of transport. So the hand-drawn, the hand cart, the horse-drawn carriage, the truck, and the train. This means that, for example, if I'm counting this now for the truck, I have delivered 2 for the truck. If I had more, this will be 4, regardless of the color of the cubes that's been sent. So whoever has the most will get 8 points. Second most will get 4. In the final scoring, you'll be looking at the number of empty carts, mine carts in your mine. Whoever has the most empty yellow ones, you'll get 10. Brown 11, 12, and black 13. Okay, so this is the scoring, all the scoring that's available on this board. There's also a few other endgame scoring that you'll see here. Okay, every $5 at the end of the game will give you 1 point. Every 3 cubes on the mine, regardless of whether it is still inside the card or outside or even on contracts that's not yet sent away, every 3 cubes will give you 1 point. Every unfinished contract will minus 1 point. And if your mine is not balanced, alright, every tile that's not balanced is minus 2 points. Now, what do you mean by balance? Balance means that you count the number of tiles that you have on the light side, and then you count the number of tiles that you have on the dark side. So they should be the same. If there's any differences, for every tile that's different, you minus 2 points. And then whoever has the most points will win the game. So what are some of the key areas you need to take note of? The placement of these tokens, alright, in a way it is quite important, because you need to calculate correctly. You need to make sure that the cards that you want, you still be able to get them, provided you have enough of these tokens. And you cannot overspend your tokens, because then you may run out of tokens for the actions, which is very important to get the cubes out from your mine onto the contracts. You also need to be aware of other players who may be shipping the same contracts as you are, because that will mean that you may run out of tokens here. Getting contracts is also quite important, alright? But usually you need to aim the right contracts. You don't want to be the same as someone else, but you also don't want to let them run away in the scoring here. Finally, money is very important in the game, because without money you will not be able to buy the cards. Without the cards, you will not have the goods to ship. Without the goods to ship, you will not have the contracts to fulfill. Without the contracts to fulfill, you will of course not have enough points to win the game. So let's go on to what do I think of the game and my final thoughts. And that was the general rules overview and how to play the game Coal Baron. Now, this is a game that's very well put together. There is nothing new. I mean, in terms of mechanisms, the different things that you see in the game, there's nothing really new. It's just a rehash of different mechanisms put together, but it is put together so nicely and so efficiently that you can't help but like the game. The game is easy to teach, easy to learn, and very fun to play. It is a medium weight game. I think it plays nicely with 3 or 4. I do not know how it plays with 2 yet. We haven't had a chance to play it yet. My first 2 games though, we had some rules wrong. The rules right, and it plays much more better, of course. And there's only one or few things that the rules that we do not like about the game. Alright, the first thing is the paper money. Right? I mean, they spend so much money on the limited edition box. They could have had better paper money. And the colors, you can't really your own player colors. You can't really tell who you are except for this little color here. You can see your blue color. They could have maybe had the overall board look much more clearer. You can see which color you are. These are just minor quibbles. The game itself still plays very well. You can see how experienced designers can come together and put up a game that's of this quality and this caliber. All the gamers that we played so far really liked it. Even from hearing the rules, you should get a sense that this is a game where there's high interactivity. There's a lot of places for in-your-face scourge. You can see what the other players are going for, which round scorings they're trying to aim for, and you can block them. This is a game about blocking. You need to block people, or you will be the one that get blocked. Of course, being able to plan ahead, several steps ahead, because you need to make sure that you have enough tokens left for the actions. Make sure you have enough tokens left to get what you want in the entire game. Money is really very important in the game. If you do not have enough money, a lot of things you cannot do. And so this is a game that I really enjoyed, and I think you will enjoy it as well. Alright, so this is a video review of Co Baron. Do leave me your feedback and your comments and your suggestions. Thank you!